Hi everyone, I'm Joe McDonald with McDonald Equine. Today we are starting the first video of our colt starting series. We've been in business for several years now, helping people all over the East Coast get their horses started, get them in the show ring, get them out on the trail wherever they're trying to get their horses going. And one of the most common questions I get is what is your colt starting process? It's actually kind of a difficult question to answer. I've got guidelines and mentors that have really influenced me, and a general idea of what we want to get done with the horses. But I thought it might be cool to do a video series with a colt and kind of show what the process looks like if you send your horse to McDonald Equine, what we're going to prioritize to get them started and get them going in whatever direction you hope to get them going. So today we've got Goose. He is a 2-year-old Cleveland Bay Thoroughbred cross. He is owned by Tori Capps of Capps Ridge Photography. Thank you to Tori for helping me film this series. And the reason this is the first episode is because first thing we've got to do is get Goose to our farm. So Goose did not want to get on the trailer today, so I said, well, let me just come pick him up and we'll do the first video today. So today all I'm going to do is work on getting Goose loaded on my trailer here. What we're dealing with is kind of your normal 2+1 horse trailer. So there's a box stall in the front and it's a 2-horse straight load in the back. I actually think these are some of the easiest trailers to teach horses to load on, mainly because you can teach the horse to load without them getting too claustrophobic about the fact that there's only one entrance and one exit. So my goal initially, obviously we want him to step up on the ramp and go through, but I'm actually going to take Goose through the whole trailer. And I'm not going to ask him to stop on the trailer at any point. I just want him to learn that he can walk through this whole trailer and go in one side and come out the other, and it's no big deal. And once we kind of make that not too big of a deal, then we can ask him to kind of pause in places. For today, for the purposes of this video, we'll probably haul him in the box stall. So I won't necessarily be working on getting him to back off. But that is something that you could build in, once they walk onto the trailer really well and go back and forth each direction, then you can ask them to stop and then walk forward and walk off. And then once they're really good about stopping, then you could start working on getting them to back down the ramp like you might have to in a gooseneck or bumper pull straight load situation. So we'll just, this is my first time meeting Goose. We'll just kind of see where he's at. But yeah, I'll try to narrate best I can. First thing I want to do, he's kind of curious. So I'm going to come up here and I'm not going to make it a big deal, but the biggest thing about trailer loading is they need to learn to come forward off this lead rope pressure, right? And depending on how much groundwork they've had in the past, like here, I might pick up on the lead rope and just use the other end of it to put a little pressure on here. And all I'm getting him to do is put enough pressure to search right there. He searched and he found his way off of this lead rope, okay? And that's the biggest thing with these guys in the beginning is I need to put enough pressure in there that they start searching for a way out, okay? And so this is my first session with Goose, teaching him to follow a feel, okay? So here we are. I'm asking Goose to follow this feel, and there he came through for me, actually. I didn't have to come in with my other hand and add a little more pressure, okay? And I'm using the end of the lead rope. I've got a flag here if I need it. Right now, he is kind of at a point where I don't have to put that much pressure on him to get him to search, which isn't a bad thing. Sometimes if the colts have been handled a lot, maybe it takes a minute because they're they're used to getting quite a bit of pressure before they have to do anything as far as move their feet or anything like that. Now, one thing I'll start to get more particular about is I don't necessarily need him to come up onto this ramp, but I will want him to start getting straight to this ramp. There, you took a step. So I'd love for him to just get shifted over this way a little bit. There you go. There you go. And I'm not, the hand that I'm offering for him to move on, I'm not dragging him. I'm not strong enough to drag. He's only 2, but clearly the Cleveland Bay side of him, I mean, he's a big, strong horse. So I'm not trying to pull him over. I'm just doing enough that I keep tension on the lead rope with my left hand right here. But right now isn't so much about getting on the trailer, it's getting prepared to get on the trailer. Good, so I'm just gonna let him stand here for a second and let that feel good to him. Okay, he's a little looky, but not bad necessarily. But a lot of these things, especially early on, it's so much of it is about preparing them and teaching them how to prepare. There you go, buddy. So I don't necessarily prioritize like making him step forward. It'd be great if he does, but he needs to be straight. There you go. Like there, he didn't come forward very much, but he was soft and he was straight and he yielded to the lead rope there. And that was great. And it's all these little things. You'll find the trend through the whole colt starting process. I don't want to not address anything, but I also don't want to put trouble into this horse or start any trouble where we maybe don't need trouble. So as long as I can keep him kind of in this frame of mind, you know, he's not super with me. Obviously he's looking off and stuff, but he's trying when I ask him to try. So that's all we can do. Like I just kind of care more about the direction we're headed, not so much the speed we get there. And don't get me wrong, I'd love to load the horse and go home, but we can't let him know that. So here, I'll just pick up on the lead rope, put a little more pressure on him. From the way he's standing, he's putting more weight on this front left of his. So, good. And I don't care that he backed up there, because it's like, okay, great. I'm putting enough pressure on him that he's trying something. Now, he's not trying the right thing. And here, if he does get a little pushy, I might have to firm up with him. There. Don't come into me. Good. I know. So he's kind of doing the Colt thing right here where he's wanting to drop his shoulder into me. That's not uncommon for young horses. So I kind of had to abandon my idea of him coming off that lead rope pressure and say, hey, don't push your shoulder into me. Right there, he was tipping his nose away and bringing his left shoulder into me. And that's kind of a precursor, especially with the colt like this, that's a precursor. There, good boy. A precursor to him maybe trying to pull away from me or something like that. Good boy. But I like both of those steps right there. He still hasn't taken the leap and gotten on this ramp. Yeah, it's right there. He hasn't taken the leap and gotten on this ramp, but there he's really soft and really straight, because from the angle the camera's looking, he keeps wanting to veer off this direction to the left. So that's why all the pressure for me is coming from this side. Okay, if he was falling this way, I'd be putting the pressure on the other side, because I mainly care about him being straight and then finding way off this pressure. There. Really good. Okay, so now I can call on him a little bit more and say, give me some effort. Good. Good. I'll call on him a little bit more. Say, give me some effort. Good. And this is kind of where the art of the whole horsemanship thing is I've got to put enough pressure on him that maybe we're making progress. There you go. But I can't do so much that, you know, he maybe just wants to turn tail and quit and run. He didn't really mean to do that, but because he stepped on that ramp, I had to release him there. It's kind of like there might be something physical you're trying to figure out, like I don't know how to hit a tennis ball better or something like that, and you just try. You didn't mean to necessarily try something, but you just did it by accident and it worked better. I have to reward him even if right there I know he didn't mean to step on the ramp. There you go. There might be something to that, buddy. And I'll let him sit and soak on that for a second. Don't leave. There you go. And this is kind of where I want to ask him to be, is right on the edge of what he's capable of at this moment. So there he's kind of gone numb for a second and said, I don't think I want to put any more effort in this, or I think I'll just lean on you. There you got straight. There. And I'll let the wheels turn here for a second. The time before that, I would have liked to have give him a little more time to think, but he started moving his feet, and I wasn't gonna let him wander out here and get distracted. There you go. Don't step on your own feet, buddy. There you go. There you go. There. Good. So it's funny, it's usually right at this point when they start trying to pull away, and like he's trying these different things, and I'm saying, hey, don't drop this shoulder into me. Don't drop this shoulder into me. There you go. This is kind of, don't come into me, please. There. This is kind of right where, there. And it's clearly not the right stuff that I want him to do, because he's kind of wanting to kick and get away from that pressure. But man, it's finally gotten serious enough he's willing to try some things. And they're no different than people. There's, you know, a lot of people don't change what they're doing in their life until things get bad enough that they go, gosh darn it, I've got to change what I'm doing. There you go. Good. So now he's thinking maybe I'll leave the other way, which wouldn't bother me one bit if he wanted to not run into me. And anytime he does offer that and acts like he wants to kick me, I just pull his nose back towards me, make sure that's not an option. Don't walk into me. There. Yeah, buddy. That was great. He made plans to pick that left front up, and obviously he reconsidered, but I saw him have a thought, so I'm gonna quit right there for a second. And with a lot of colt starting, this right here is where actually all the progress gets made, when they're sitting and thinking. Here, let me offer a different solution. There you go. You're thinking about it. You're thinking about it. Okay, great. So now I can switch, come to this side. I know. You want to leave out your left so gosh darn bad. There. There. Yep. No. Good. There you go, buddy. And honestly, this horse by now, if we had to, if we were really in a pinch, I could have my camera person come in behind him with like a flag or something. And we've got enough of a handle on him, we could keep him straight, we could load him right now. But it's not so much trying to get him as loaded as fast as possible. I'd like for him to leave today, yeah, feeling good about being loaded. So then for the rest of his life, maybe it's not so much of an issue. But this is so important, getting these colts halter broke well and understanding this pressure on the lead rope, what that means, how it pertains to the feet. Just come on up here, it's not going to hurt you. There you go. I know. Because really, trailer loading isn't so much a trailer problem as it is a leading problem. And so he just doesn't have the confidence or the understanding or the sureness, whatever you want to say. He doesn't feel good enough about me putting pressure on that lead rope, that going to the halter on his head and dictating his feet. There you go. We just don't have that level of understanding yet and level of confidence where it's like, regardless of what is in front of you, if I pick up on this lead rope, you should go that direction. But he's going to need that, one, on the ground just to get led around in life, but two, if I'm on his back and I offer a feel for him to go over a jump or go through a creek or walk up to a cow or whatever, he needs to have the confidence and understanding in me that he's just going to go on and do that. I know. No, don't kick me. There you go. There you go. Good, so we got a little crooked on this side, which I don't mind seeing at all, because usually if you start having new problems, it means you're making progress. So now he's not lined up the other way, so I'll say get lined up, come straight forward. Good. Now step forward this way. There you go. And I'll switch sides for a second. There. Now that's the first time he's kept his foot on there. I know. Blowing your world, isn't it, buddy? And the tough thing about this is there's just so many little subtle things, and that's honestly why sometimes the trailer loading stuff, like if you go to a clinic or something like that, a lot of times the trailer loading demonstration, everybody's really excited to watch the cowboy get the horse on the trailer. And then it takes a little bit sometimes. And it's not even that it takes a while, it's that it's not as dramatic as maybe what people were anticipating. And so 9 times out of 10 at trailer loading demos, there's a lot less people at the end watching than at the beginning, because people get bored and want to go home or go to dinner or whatever. Good. I know. Well, you could move away from me. There you go. That's a novel idea. There you go. There. You had it for a second. So now we're kind of getting to the point. I want him to know that if he's backing up, he's kind of backing up into pressure. Now, how do we do that? There's no one behind him. True. But I'm here and I can still apply pressure. And fortunately, these guys are smart enough to realize it doesn't have to be. Come on, buddy. There you go. He can realize that if he backs up like that, he meets pressure at the end of the lead rope, and then I maybe push him a little bit. There. Good. There. Why don't you come back? Good. So this is probably something he's tried at some point, is when I don't get my way or I don't like the options I'm presented, I'm gonna maybe get a little pushier and some new options might present themselves. There. So he kind of had to explore that for a minute. And we needed to nip it in the bud. There. Now, if he is going to be pushy, I'll just switch to the flag and I can keep a little more distance between him and me. And I can use this flag the same way I was using my lead rope. If he gets crooked that way, this might take him a second to sort out. If he gets crooked that way, good. 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 There. There you go, buddy. Good. Now we got you woken up. Good boy. Good deal. So there it picked that flag up and he came forward soft off that lead rope. So give him a break. And again, I'm just using this flag the same way. He's cocked to his left here. Get straight and come forward. And I'm just using this to put a little pressure on him. And I gotta be careful not to do so much that he just ups and backs off. There you go. But I'm trying to guide him out of this pressure, believe it or not, and he hasn't worked that out yet. So we'll let him, yeah, there you go. Forward's a good idea. Get out of that pressure. There you go. I know, but think of the consequences of stepping on that ramp. It's a scary thought, buddy. Yeah. Yeah. Good job. So again, I see him leaning to his left. That's why I'm focusing on the left shoulder. And I'm not trying to pull him on here. I'm just letting this tension sit there. Good. And the tension comes off when you come forward. But again, he's a lot bigger than me. So I'm not, when I put my hand around my hip like that, I'm not trying to pull him on. I'm just holding the tension. There you go. There. And I don't really mind him, like obviously backing up's not the right answer, but man, at least he's trying something. There you go. Yeah, I know, frustrating day. Good job. Again, I just want him to get straight. There, he's gone to his left. Yeah. I just need you prepared to get on the trailer. Good. Good. So that's why I have the flag, so I can get out in front of that a little bit easier. Because he'd like to turn around, try kicking out. There. There you go. Oh, I know. Good. Almost like that was the right answer all along, huh, buddy? Here you go. Don't lean on me so bad, buddy. Good. Now when he wants to pull back, just like with little foals, when we halter break them, I try to break his feet loose by going sideways. So like here, there I had to switch gears, kind of go into self-defense mode because he was thinking about running me over. There. There. Very good. Right there, thought about pulling away from me. Yep, why don't you come right here? There you go. Good boy. Yeah. There. All the good stuff's up here, buddy. I know. Good job. Don't leave out that way either. Good job, buddy. So like right here, I want him to come this way. There, break his feet loose, come forward. Really good. I know, we're still working on this freaking trailer. There you go. I know, there you go, buddy. He's like, I get it, I get it. Foot on the ramp. He thought about it. Can't quite bring himself to do it. I know. Let's take a second and just be friends. And I want you to notice how this horse, you know, he's kind of acted a little snotty. He said, I might pull away, or I might kick you, or whatever he's thinking about doing. But then he still wants to come here and kind of, you know, he hasn't really given up hope with me. Like right there, he just kind of reached for me and asked for a little confidence. And so I'll back off right there because he came and stood up. Because even though I've had to firm up with him a little bit, because my timing has been fair and consistent, where I know what I want, and I want you to come forward, and when you do that, I'm consistent about giving you a break. He doesn't take this personally, right? He's not trying to get away from me beyond just the wanting to not get on the trailer, and so he's moving away from the pressure. But right there a minute ago, he relaxed and kind of reached out for me, and I pet on him, and we were still friends. And it's kind of remarkable how good they are about not holding things against you just because you're asking something of them. Especially as long as you're fair, they'll try for you. I know. Good job, buddy. And I'll be interested to see what he's like when we get him through this whole trailer and he knows he can walk off and come off the other end of it, how he'll load on this ramp after that. But when he's got his head down and he's thinking and I'm back here, I'm just going to let all these thoughts feel good to him. Now, if he backs off, I'll have to come up and say, hey, why don't you come this way again? But we'll just see. I'm not trying to drag him on here. I'm just putting a little tension and seeing what he does with this for a second. Sometimes if they're really quiet horses, they'll sit in the pressure and it won't mean much, but he might just get the urge to move here, and if I can be offering a direction for him to move when that happens, he might come forward, but we'll just see. Dogs, horses, and kids, they all make liars out of you, so. Okay, so here he's decided he's gonna try something. I'm offering this. Okay, he went back. So now I'll come back and let me adjust my halter. Since you got these big floppy lips, buddy. There you go. So again, that's where we just were. And I'm just gonna see if he can take a few more steps up this ramp, and he might say, whoa, whoa, whoa. This is getting to be a little too much for old Goose, and I'll just support him and say, come on, you can do it. Good. Yeah, don't lean that way. Good. Good. Good boy. I'm gonna go back here. Good thinking. So here he's licking his lips, thinking about his options. And again, this colt starting stuff, it's like watching paint dry sometimes. But the more of this I can offer him, where he's thinking about the right thing, the less he and I will both have to do physically. Hopefully. Okay, so there I asked him to come forward without the flag. He said, I think I'm gonna leave. So we'll work on coming forward again. You do a little more for me. You do a little more for me. Good job, buddy. I know. I know. Yeah. There. Move that shoulder over. There. Good job. Good choice. Yeah. Good choice. Good choice. Now, at some point, I will warn you, Goose, we will need your hind end to come on the trailer. I know, it's a much scarier proposition. There you go. Good boy. You ever seen him that parked out? There you go. That's got to be more comfortable that way, Goose. One thing I want to point out while he's kind of taking a minute to take this all in, you know, there's a million ways we could have gotten this done. We could have backed this trailer up into a round pen and run him on. We could have had someone behind flagging, as long as the person in front and behind has some feel. I could stand off to the side and try to load him there. I probably wouldn't recommend that with the setup we have right now. That's why I'm staying in front of him. But I like this method because it ultimately, at least for us, it seems like this is eventually how we're going to lead them on, at least until we get them finished enough they can self-load. But for a lot of these bigger horse trailers, you know, or your slant load or whatever it is, these horses are going to get led on. And a lot of times I'm by myself. I don't have someone to shush them on or cluck at them or wave a flag or whatever. Now, when he gets on here, I'm going to try my best. If he's ready to move, I'm going to get right through there and take him out the side ramp. And that might be in a minute, but I want to be prepared. It seems like there's usually a time when they decide to commit to going forward, which obviously isn't right now, but when they commit to going forward, I want to be situated that I can guide him forward through this trailer and he doesn't have to dilly-dally, because he's making a big change for me right there, just being willing to come forward. And I just want to be able to show him that we can get on and off of this trailer, and like this is gonna be for him in the beginning. There you go, like walking through a barn aisle or something. There. And a lot of times that comes once they get their back feet on. We'll see. He might still be thinking backwards, but the sooner I let him know there's an exit that way, the easier my job is going to get. There you go. Did you name him Goose?
Yeah. We have a rooster and a goose.
Okay. Good boy. There you go. There we go. So now he's thinking a little bit. He took that step on his own, which is the first step he's taken that I haven't had to beg him for. So we're headed in the right direction. He's kind of checking out the accommodations, making sure all the welds are good and the rivets look sound, or whatever he's thinking about. Watch your head. There you go. Good. So I picked up on him just a little bit and said, what do we think? He said, I think this might be dangerous. There you go. There we go. Don't get lost. Good, so he keeps bringing that shoulder into me, so I'm kind of having to go into survival mode a little bit, making sure he doesn't push on me with that shoulder. There you go. Remember all this good stuff? There you go. There you go. There you go. I know. Sometimes it's got to get darker before the darker before the dawn. There you go, buddy. There you go. And throughout the theme of this whole series, I can tell you this right now, because it's a theme, a big theme in colt starting, at least for my colt starting. I want him to get straight, okay? Straightness is so important for so many reasons on horses. You got it, buddy. I believe in you. There you go. This might be our moment. We got to keep rolling. Careful. I'll get out of his way. You'll be okay, buddy. Good. Totally fine. Good. So we got to just kind of let him figure out what the heck just happened. Don't eat. Why don't you think instead? Yeah. Really good, buddy. So, we've done it. We kind of need to let his nervous system come back down, let him calm down a little bit, and then we just need to smooth out that process a little bit. But it is funny, it's like that with a lot of things with horses. It was like we're stuck on the ramp, and he's like, all right, let's go. Let's load on the trailer. Don't lean on that. Don't lean on that. Okay, so we just had to change SD cards, but he's just been sitting here. So we're gonna let him run that back in a minute, see if we can get that process smoothed out. We might even try to go back up the other way here in a second. Really good, Goose. And I'm not trying to rush him off of here at all. He knows that he didn't exactly stick the landing last time. So I'm gonna let him work this out at his own pace, but this is great because like a horse like this, who's not super confident, I mean, he's 2 years old and he just hasn't had much of an education yet. Golly, working this out, the confidence he'll get from working this out, I just kind of want to make sure I'm not downrange of this horse coming off this trailer. But did you ever think we had this problem getting him off? The wheels are turning in there. But again, you know, they don't really, unless they're incentivized to think through problems, it's no different than a muscle, you know, that'll atrophy. So him having the chance, like first time he just kind of ran off. It was like we had just loaded a deer on the trailer and he just jumped off. Now that's the cool thing about horses that makes them different from a lot of animals that are preyed upon. They have the capacity to think through these problems. It's why they, for whatever reason, we can tame them and ride them and do all these cool things with them. So I'm just going to walk this way, just see if that kind of tempts him to come down out of here. But he loaded so much easier the second time because he knows there's a way out of the trailer. And that's why it's funny, a lot of people see these trailers and they're like, oh, these are a little more complicated and the ramps are high and stuff like that. But a lot of times they're almost easier. So I'm not going to ask him to come down, but I might ask him to move over a little bit. There. You got it, buddy. You'll get better at that. And something I want you to notice, how much lighter this horse, don't run over me though, I was just about to compliment you, how much lighter this horse has gotten to the lead rope. If I step here, he gives, and it's not like this horse just got a bunch of feel injected into his body. But he's thinking about me and what I'm asking of him so much more than when we started this whole session. And that's a big thing you see with a lot of pushy horses. Like, yes, they've got to learn to stay out of your space, but it's really, they've got to learn to pay attention to humans.
Go home.
You know, you can imagine someone talking, like maybe a tall guy talking to someone at a bar or something. They might not be too aware of maybe someone shorter that they didn't accidentally bump into, but if they're trying to talk to the person that's shorter, you know, in a crowded area or something, they're probably not going to bump into them accidentally because they're going to keep tabs on where they're at. And this horse is starting to keep tabs on me a lot more than he did before. His agenda before was, how do I get back to the barn? Oh shoot, there's a human tied to my head. You got it. Now, he kind of wants to come off sideways, so I'm gonna kind of angle myself. I'm gonna try to help him be centered. Yeah, buddy. You nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. So now he's doing really good. We'll do the other way, and then you'll probably be ready to load it up and go home, buddy. I know this is a little steeper. You might have to put your butt into it. Go slow off of this. Very good. Really good, buddy. My flag got hung up on the hinge there, so I just had to drop it because he was ready to go forward. And I think that's an important note for anyone watching. We need to, he's going to be more comfortable as long as I allow him to move his feet. I don't need to hurry him, but if he's wanting to move his feet, I mean, the biggest problem in the beginning was he was stuck. So now, like when he wants to move his feet, I need to give him somewhere to go. Good, we might just wait here. We don't have to get off the trailer right away. It's almost like it was no big deal the whole time. Awesome.